What is the ripple effect? Every thought and every action has a reaction that is felt out in the universe.
There is only one art. That art is you.
On my show, I feature everyday people that are positively changing the lives of other people.
What I do and who I am made a difference in those people's life.
Just as a single drop of water sends ripples out into a pond, the actions of every individual are felt in the universe.
It only takes a split second to cause a ripple.
What ripples are you sending?
Hi, I'm Melissa Hall. I'm the host of The Ripple Effect, and today I am joined by Joy Villa, who is a beautiful person, but you're a Grammy considered
Yes.
singer-songwriter that is just kind of tearing up the charts. You have amazing music. You're #1 on iTunes and on Amazon, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your music and what makes it so, like, what do you think it connects so well to people?
Well, it's very much from my heart. It's my own music. It's my own, I write everything I sing, at least co-write. The album that hit the charts was all written by me. So for me, it's part of my journey. I have a song called Vagabonds. It's about never stopping. You keep going, you're traveling, your heels are itching to hit the floor and keep going, hit the road. And I mean, that's just how I live my life. I feel like it's connected to a lot of people. My song Beautiful is about going through something hard and coming out and pulling yourself out of that pain and suffering and identifying yourself as beautiful no matter what other people say.
That's really interesting. Was that song written from experience? Is there a story behind that song?
There, in the song, I kind of put different stories together. There's a girl who cuts herself, because her dad gets drunk and beats her. It's like heavy situations that personally I haven't been through the exact same situations, but my own pain and suffering. There's a boy who wants to fit in with the kids at school, so he draws on fake tattoos and he steals things to be cool. There's a man who's ostracized by his peers, so he's very alienated and feels alone. And it's just all these different situations are situations I've heard of, my friends have had, and I've been through my own, unique pain and suffering. We all have had that. And it's that sliver of hope, like we were talking about before this interview, that little bit of hope. You have to tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you can do it. And then eventually, it's like you put on that smile, you may not feel it, but eventually you keep smiling, you're gonna say, wait a second, I am feeling a little more hopeful. It's just all you need is a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it takes hold and it grows.
It does. And I think when you commit to creating the habit of reminding yourself that you're a worthwhile person, or that you're kind, and then you express that through your actions and your deeds. It's interesting. Like, how is it that or what have you noticed now that you have gained some notoriety with your music? What truly inspires you to continue? Like, what are those themes and those topics that are really at the core of who you are? Is there a message that you're trying to send?
Definitely. It's unity. It's love, it's compassion. It's definitely knowing that you are a worthwhile being, that you're a spiritual being. I tell people that all the time. I do, live videos, and my message is always, you are a spiritual being. You are strong. You can change your life. You can dictate how your life is. If you're not happy about something, change it. Pull yourself out of the pain. And I know it's easier said than done, but a lot of people need to be told that they are actually the masters of their fate. Because they think, it happened to me, I can't do anything about it. My parents beat me, or I'm broke now, or my boss hates me. Those things may be true, but if you keep using those as excuses to not move forward, you're never going to move forward.
I agree. And I think oftentimes people let their situations, the situational issue or challenge, that becomes the narrative of their life. It becomes all encompassing, and they go and they internalize everything. Kind of the woe is me, that victimhood mentality.
Yeah.
But how do you encourage a person who truly does feel like a victim? What would you say to them? Like, what would be that one thing that you could say, just do this, just do this? Like, this one thing can shift your energy and shift your perspective.
That's such a good question. I would say it's two things. First, realize you're powerful. Own your power. I would just tell someone, own your power. And then 2 is find your purpose. Because when you live a purposeless life, everything is gray. And someone could have stolen your purpose or told you you're useless, you're worthless, or something bad happened to you to where you feel like you have no purpose. Find your purpose. My purpose is to help people. I mean, that's why I do everything. My music, when I talk to others, I want to shed love, unity, help. I want other people to be in communication with each other. I want other people to start a dialogue, to talk about things, to be friends, at least friendly. So if I'm doing music or I'm going out on stage, I always think with my purpose. So find your purpose. Why are you doing the things you do? And if you say, well, I'm just doing my 9 to 5 because I'm trying to make money, quit that job.
Yeah.
It's hard, but quit that job and do something that is worthwhile, that makes you want to get up in the morning. You would do it for free because you love what you're doing. And that's purpose. It's not so much what you're doing, but it's why you're doing it.
Do you think that a person can find their purpose amidst some of the worst moments of their life?
Absolutely. A lot of times that's when we find our purpose, when our back is against the wall, when we have nowhere to turn, we have nothing else to do. We don't have our crutches. Maybe someone has left us, or we've lost people, or we've lost things that meant something to us. And then we say, well, it's either I die or I rise forward.
Yeah.
And that's when you make that choice. And it does come from loss. I don't know of anyone who's had a perfect, happy life and all of a sudden they say, oh, I'm just going to change it. It usually is you have to lose something and you have to find out what really drives you and what's most important. And then you go for that, and then you rise like a phoenix. You have a new life, you have a new purpose.
That's it. I was just sitting here listening to you, and I was reminded of a quote, which is, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Absolutely.
And knowing a little bit about you, knowing that you're willing to stand for what you believe in, what at the core of who you are, what are the things that you stand for?
I love this. Yeah. I stand for unity, love, compassion, helping others, artistic integrity, human rights. Everyone has a right to express what they believe in. Everyone has a right to live their truth. And also for people to be able to live their truth. What you believe in may be different than what I believe in. But I'm not going to insult you or berate you or try to change you, because then I'm already disrespecting you. If I already think you're wrong, if I come into this, interview and I go, I already think Melissa's wrong in everything she believes, then there's already a wall. I will just be waiting for you to finish what you're saying before then I can say my thing.
Which is interesting, because I do think that oftentimes that's what people are doing. They're just
Totally.
waiting for someone to stop so that they can start. They're not even hearing what's being said.
No, they're not taking it in.
No,
They're not
no.
listening.
It's funny. I was actually thinking about the forefathers and how they created this country and the Declaration of Independence and just the things that they stood for. They passionately disagreed with each other, but they still had respect. There was this exchange of ideas, even though they were maybe very opposed to the others. They never shut down the idea and the possibility of co-creating.
That's right.
And
it's important.
It's very important. And I wanted to touch on that because you have been very willing to kind of stand in your political beliefs, which is very brave because you are a Trump supporter.
That's right.
You recently attended the Grammys wearing a very infamous dress now. This dress has become the talk of the town. Tell me a little bit about that moment and why you made that decision.
Sure. I do stand in my truth, and that's a part of just who I am. Integrity and boldness, and I feel like I want to live a life of adventure. There's no point in waking up and going, okay, what am I going to do today? Who's going to tell me what to do? That's not my life. So this decision to wear this dress was all my own with the designer, Andre Soriano, who is a gay legal immigrant from the Philippines, who's a Republican, who loves Trump. And we're both like closeted supporters. And he said, why don't we do something at the Grammys? Why don't we do something different? So I thought about wearing the dress. I thought about it for like 30 seconds. I said, okay, yes, I'm going to face a backlash. Yes, some people are going to disagree with my choice. But what's more important to me? It's living my truth and living adventurous and just doing what I want to do. So I wore that dress. I wore the cape over when I walked the red carpet, the white cape, because I thought, oh my gosh, if somebody throws, flour at me or fake blood or something, tries to pull the dress apart, anything could happen. So I purposely talked about love, compassion, unity. And when I got to the final red carpet, because there was a lot of press and they didn't know what I was wearing, when I got to the final part at the Grammys, I took it off and revealed my Make America Great Again dress, turned around, Trump on the back. And for me, it was just a small token of appreciation to our president, who I think has just been lambasted in the press and treated very unfairly. And a lot of people have been promoting dissension, discord, rather than unity and love and togetherness, no matter what your beliefs are.
Right. It's almost to the point where it's just hateful. It's hateful, and it's becoming, the rhetoric is becoming violent. People are inciting violence. They're actively asking people to go out and create havoc.
Exactly.
When we, we're going to take a break here in just a second, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about what you think the solutions are to changing this dynamic in our culture today. So I hope that you will stay with us. I'm Melissa Hull, and this is the awesome Joy Villa, and we will be back.
You're watching The Ripple Effect. Thank you for being a part of The Ripple Effect.
And welcome back. I'm your host, Melissa Hull. This is Ripple Effect, and I am joined today by Joy Villa, who is a singer and songwriter and also a social kind of disruptor in a way. How does it feel to kind of be considered a little bit, polarizing, or you're willing to kind of buck the trend and go against the grain? We were talking about that a little bit before the break, and this is something that you chose. You knew going into it that this could be kind of the outcome, and you have faced a lot of hatred, and also a lot of support. There's no doubt that people are just really loving you and pouring that love into you, but there are those that are out there that seek to disparage you just because of your viewpoint and your willingness to own your viewpoint and speak publicly about it. What do you think can be the one thing, or the dialogue? How do we begin the dialogue that kind of shifts and changes this discord that is so prevalent in our society today?
It's, we have to be solutions based, because otherwise it's going to continue to where there's going to be more and more hate. And the answer is unity. It's educating people. Hey, listen, it's okay to have a different opinion. A lot of the things like the anti-bullying has come up, which is great. But people also okay, well, how do we stop bullying? Really? Well, we need to educate everyone and say, listen, if someone disagrees with you, you can still talk to them. You don't have to call them a name. You don't have to say they're bad. And I think a lot of people were taught or not taught how to conversate with people. It's just, it's basic fundamental rights. It's like, you can believe how you believe, and I'm still going to respect you. I believe how I believe. So it's bringing society up to this respect. I feel like we used to have a lot of respect for each other. No one would dare, make claims of violence against another person or the president on public TV. It used to be, you wore a suit when you were on TV. You dressed up. You respected the medium. You respected people, and the press respected others. And now it's sort of like anything goes, and no one really cares, and that has to change, because we do care. It does hurt people to have hate and to incite violence, and it's not okay to use your platform for that. And it's not just normal people that need that education. It's a lot of celebrities. It's a lot of people who are in the spotlight. They think, oh, I can say whatever I want, and there's no effect, there's no consequence. There's always a consequence. And when you say, I hate that, and I think you all should hate them too, you're now breeding hate into your followers and into your message. And that's a low level, low tone, low vibration, rather than, hey, you know what? I can disagree with you and we can still be friends.
I agree with you. And I always find it fascinating, because oftentimes they take the position of being, the gatherers, kind of bringing people together, having, causing people to get behind a cause. They say, hey, go out and support, the local humane society, and you've got more people out there. So it's interesting that they would choose to go towards something so just divisive and polarizing.
It's shocking, actually. I'm really shocked at what's happening. And
I have been too, and I can't help but think that this is the new way of censoring people. If you insult them, you berate them, and then you incite violence. You ask for people to harm them or to unfollow them or not support them just because they have a different viewpoint.
Yeah,
it's we've seen this represented in many different. At many different points in history, but right now, it feels like it's almost like we're just waiting for that spark, like something could ignite, something very bad. And I think that I'm curious to find out what you think. What do you think is going to be the one or two things that just kind of begin to, or what will it take to like shift the mindset of Hollywood, to bring them into this, this dialogue? Are they willing?
Well, we need to heal. We need healing. And the only thing that heals is love and compassion and unity and listening to people and respect. So there needs to be something like, if it's going to be a campaign and a hashtag, it needs to be respect. Respect each other. Hey, listen, let's do a campaign where I'm this celebrity and I hate the president, and there's that celebrity who loves the president. Here's a selfie together. Let's do that, and let's just do hashtag respect. Respect each other, respect one another. Like, that's a very light, low gradient, but that's something that could be started. And that's going to start exactly tolerance and respect, where people are actually doing that for one another. Because we know we have to have tolerance for religions, even though a lot of people don't have that. We know we're supposed to have tolerance for this and that and the other, but what about political differences? That's something that, for some reason, especially during the 2016 election time, it's like people just threw that out the window. There's no respect for political differences. It's, I hate you because you voted for somebody that I don't vote for. And Trump supporters are getting hit the worst. And it really is, I mean, there's mudslinging from both sides, but it's now, people are getting stabbed, people are getting beaten. And like you said, there is an incitation of violence. There's like, go hit that person, go punch that person. I don't like what you said, I'm gonna hurt you physically. And people are hurting, that's why they're doing that. A bully is the person who's been bullied, right? It's a person who's lost so much that they're now like, I'm just gonna have everyone lose. I've given up on myself, so I'm gonna attack others. So that's what trolling, that's what bullies are. We know that. But that doesn't mean we should, let's give you a platform to hate others. No, okay, fine. You can say something against someone else, because I believe in the First Amendment. I do believe that you should be able to say you hate someone if you want, but let's not make that the only dialogue. Like you said, it's now censored. Now I can't even say, but I love the president. No, you can't even say what you love anymore. And we have to start with support and love being the loudest voice. And it seems silly that social media has to be the platform, but that's the universal connector. That's the universal communication line. So we need to put love, tolerance, unity, real respect for each other on that communication line. Just imagine if everybody started like tweeting out, I love my friend, I voted for Hillary and he voted for Trump and we love each other. Like, if that was now the thing, kids would pick that up and it would become, a huge nationwide movement.
Have you ever stopped and realized, what you're doing, the impact that you're having? I mean, there are so many people that are looking to you as the example of the modern day woman. You are, successful in your own right, but you're also brave in that you're willing to just be who you are. And right now, I know that that's a challenge for a lot of people. They fear the backlash. Maybe, they don't have the support systems. You have become an icon without even maybe realizing it. You're on your way to just, really being a social influencer. Even beyond where you are today, I could just see you being the kind of the face of a movement.
Thank you. Well, I really hope that happens. I mean, that is, I don't stop and think about it. I keep moving and think about it because I can't stop, and I feel like it's definitely something that this is a dream in me. This is something I've been wanting since I was a little girl. I've been involved in arts and entertainment and, singing and dancing in theater and in church. And I feel like it's always been something that my parents have instilled in me. It's something that I was taught to stay humble, but be confident and help other people.
Right.
And if I can do this on a national, worldwide, global scale, then that's my work. That's my life's purpose. And that's why I get up every morning and do what I do. When I hear, if I can help one person say, you know what, you changed my thinking, you know, I'm actually going to give it a try. I'm going to actually do research, and I'm actually going to see the other person's point of view, rather than just blanket statements like, I hate that person, or you're this and that and the other. Instead of name calling, because there's no education there, there's no real thinking involved. It's not like, I disagree with this one issue. It's, I just hate you. And that's bad. Everybody suffers when that happens. And I have faced a big backlash. I've gotten called every name in the book, you know, like every single name you can think of, negativity, like from racial attacks to, you know, attacks on my gender, attacks to everything, but not because I am that, but because I'm that and I'm a Trump supporter. Very interesting. It's not, oh, I hate you because you're a woman. It's, I hate you because you're a female who supports Trump. And I go, why? Well, because he's a misogynist. I'm like, okay, just think about what you're saying. You're talking to a female who supports somebody. He's not a misogynist. Tell me why you think he's that. And they say, well, everybody knows. So you get this thinking, it's like, well, we all agree, group think, you know. And I want to educate people to where, because I know that once they see the other side and they start doing research, people are smart. They'll go, oh, I can make up my mind for myself, right? And that's true freedom. It's like, oh, I can see that this person's not all bad. This person's not all good. They're somewhere in the middle, just like I am. So maybe I shouldn't be calling names like that. It's not all that black and white.
No, it's always about finding a point at which you can at least even agree to disagree, but have the dialogue.
Absolutely.
That dialogue is so important. You know, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
If you had to pick a legacy, something that you'll be known for long after you're gone, what would be the legacy that you would like to leave?
That I helped people love each other. Now what she did, Joy Villa, you know, remember Joy Villa? She helped so many people love each other. Through her music, through what she spoke, through what she said, even the way she dressed, she inspired people to love each other, to love and care for and respect one another.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you're well on your way.
Thank you.
You are well on your way. You are the example of what I say, that as we connect to people's hearts, we open up their minds. And that's truly what the ripple effect is all about. It's going beyond your circle of influence to those areas where you haven't ventured, but you're expressing love and the desire to know more from them and to exchange ideas.
That's right.
I think it's wonderful. You are truly an inspiration, and I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your example. You are a very powerful woman, and
thank you,
make
Melissa.
me excited to see what's next.
Yes.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm Melissa Hull, and this is Joy Villa, and this has been The Ripple Effect.